Mm. Tasty. All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Coming at you on a Monday evening. Hashtag MLW Mondays. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We're not late this week. No, we got it on time this week. So, yeah. Hope you all had a good weekend. I got some very good news this weekend. I'll tell you about it, and then we'll get into this episode. I got confirmation that I will be starting a new job a week from tonight. That's the great news. The bad news is my evening podcasts are on hold indefinitely. So that doesn't mean I'm done podcasting. It just means I have to adjust my live times. I'll be doing them more just during the day, randomly, morning, early afternoonish. This shift is from like 6 to 10. So, I mean, it's, I'm usually watching wrestling around sometime during that hour and then reviewing it afterwards. And, well, that's not going to happen for a very long time. So, this week is the last week I'll be going live at night. And then if I want to go live, it'll have to be during the day, during the week. And yeah, that'll probably, I'll lose some numbers as far as being live, but that's not a big deal. That's, it doesn't matter to me when you watch the videos. I love the live interaction, don't get me wrong, but just the fact that if I'm getting views, I don't care when I'm getting them, honestly. Like, for example, my Impact Wrestling ones, I'll get decent numbers live after Impact Wrestling, but the numbers throughout the course of the next week are significantly different. So, it is what it is. That's life, You roll with the punches, but nonetheless, this isn't really a punch. It's, I am celebrating this, so we are happy about the new job. Absolutely. So, hashtag MLW Mondays. Let's talk about this latest episode of MLW Fusion number 29. Commentary done by Tony Schiavone and Matt Stryker, two of my favorites currently, announcing this modern era of wrestling we're in. And that's not to knock Rich, what's his name? Pacini. He's good, but Matt Stryker just adds so much more. He's a living, breathing encyclopedia of wrestling information, classic and modern. I mean, I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but man, he's between what he does on MLW and Lucha Underground with Vampiro. I think he's one of the best ones out there. And then you add a classic voice like Tony Schiavone. Man, that's, and I love old school WCW stuff. And that would be about the only reason I would have the network right now. But that's, that's not enough for me to keep that. So it is what it is. So I'll take my Tony Schiavone how I can get it, which is on MLW. And I really appreciate that as far as this brand over the course of this last year, rising up from the ashes again. I dig it. I really do. I mean, that's a significant name for commentating. If you're an old wrestling fan like me, you appreciate stuff like that, it's like, getting excited for when JR is going to announce something, it's the same but different, depending on what kind of brand you like back when, whatever. So this episode starts out really interesting with Conan coming out, kind of being like a hype guy. He's all excited for, this crowd, this New York crowd. It's lit, is one of the things I think he said. And then, of course, out comes Salina de la Renta, and just to spoil the party. But she comes bearing some very important, distressing information about Conan's crew. The Lucha Brothers. She has informed him that the Lucha Brothers have been detained and sent back to Mexico from ICE. Oh, that's I mean, that's a sensitive subject. That's yeah, the crowd was not too happy about that. I remember reading that when this promo was done live and that hit the dirt sheets, like reporting like, hey, this happened at a live show and they're talking about this. And yeah, that didn't go over too well. I mean, to each their own. I think it's just mixing a little bit of edgy reality to the show, because it is a real thing that happens in real life. But when you throw that into a professional wrestling show, it's just it's a jab, it's a dig, it's oh man. It's crazy. So Salina de la Renta and Conan are in each other's faces arguing about this. And I forgot I set this here. This is this is left over from, yeah, I know, Captain ADD over here. This is left over from Halloween, and it's like over half full of candy still. So I'm going to be whittling. I'm just going to get fat sitting here. No, hopefully not. Well, I'm already fat. But anyways, so they're arguing. And then who came out with Salina de la Renta? Ricky Martinez. Ricky Martinez then gets in the face of Conan, and Conan calls him an Amish gnome. Oh, I love Conan. He cracks me up, man. You never know what's gonna fly out of his mouth. He's so damn funny. His cut downs. I mean, some of his shtick is he uses it a lot. We're serious like a late period. He uses that 1,000 times, but that's a tremendous line. I mean, it's like we call this guy. I mean, Ricky Martinez is not a man of size and stature. Okay, he's a small guy. I mean, he's strong, he's athletic, but he's not tall by any means. He's got that big beard. And so he called him, he said, get this Amish gnome out of here or something. Oh my God, too damn funny. And Conan's like, oh, you want to fight tonight? Oh, I got someone you can fight. Hey, come on out here. And out comes Puma King. So that sets up the first match of the episode is Ricky Martinez versus Puma King. And I got to admit, when Ricky Martinez debuted within the last, couple months, he hasn't been on the show very long because Selena De La Renta's ranks went down significantly when she lost the Lucha Brothers. That was like her prime, her prime people in her stable. She also got rid of Sammy Guevara. I didn't hear why, but I know that he used to be with her as well. Or she let him go or something, whatever. But so now she's bringing some new people into the fold. As Conan's growing his family too. So this is a really interesting watching her go up against him, and she's not scared one bit of him. And that's one thing that's the more I watch this show. I mean, we've seen Conan a million times. You can love him, you can hate him. I dig him. I respect him. But to see someone like Selena De La Renta come out week after week on MLW, number one, her wardrobe, my goodness. She's always stunning, class. She brings, she may be, a heel among heels, but she brings some class to her game. She really does. Ronnie is in the chat. Good evening to you. What is up? Glad you could join us this Monday evening. Hey, we got a few more people coming in here. Welcome. So yeah, this match between Puma King and Ricky Martinez, solid match. Some really fast moving stuff here. Hey, and we got a like. Thank you. Appreciate that. Last night it was a fight between the likes and dislikes when I was going live talking about Walking Dead. We're starting out with a like. That's always a good thing. It's a good way to start out the week, right? Selena De La Renta is hot as a Latina chick on SmackDown. Chick on SmackDown. Are you talking about Vega? I'm trying to think of. You're talking about the one who comes out with Andrade Ciamolis? J-Bone always gets a like. Oh, I love you, Ronnie. Thank you. Cheers to you. Cheers to you, Ronnie. Much love. That's awesome. But yeah, she is stunning. Absolutely. But she's vicious. Yeah, the one with Andrade. Yeah, that's Selena Vega. Vega? Yeah. Former girlfriend to Austin Aries. Cheers. So yeah, great match between Ricky Martinez. So like I said, when I first saw Ricky Martinez, I wasn't that impressed with him. I was kind of like, who's this guy? But the more I see him, especially in this match, really caught my eye. Really was like, wow, this Ricky Martinez is something else. He really is. And Puma King is, I don't know a lot about Puma King, but I think he came up from CMLL, I believe. It's either CMLL or AAA. Somewhere, sort of works all over Mexico. A lot of these names down in Mexico are starting to become more, they want to branch out. They want to work all over the place. So, where he got his attitude. No, Aries has always been cocky like that. He's from Milwaukee, so I guess it's some of that. I don't know. I don't know what where you can say he got his attitude from. Something in the water, near Milwaukee. I don't know. It's that great Lake Michigan water. I don't know. Makes everyone around this city bipolar. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're putting in the water around here. It makes me crazy too. I live just outside Milwaukee, but whatever. I was crazy a long time ago. So yeah, solid match between Ricky Martinez and Puma King. Puma King coming out with a win here. So and Conan's team really needed a win here because I mean his guys have been just like beaten down like crazy lately. I don't want to say they've been on a losing streak, but they haven't been doing great between Phoenix and Pentagon. And I know I'm forgetting a couple names here. Oh, and so next week, Conan's bringing in Daga to face Low Key. I cannot wait to see that one. Daga, of course, I'm a big fan of his from Lucha Underground, and I haven't seen a lot of his south of the border shows, from down in Mexico, but I know he wrestles all over the place down there, or on the west coast of the U.S. I think California. I think he wrestles a lot. That's a guess, but I think he does. We're also getting Jimmy Yuta versus Jason Cade versus MJF. In fact, they're calling the episode Title Town. Now, I may not be that much of a Packers fan right now as far as just watching football in general. I've really gotten away from it because I'm so tired of the no fun league, or you can call it whatever you want. But there's only one title town that I know of, and that's Green Bay. Green Bay will always be title town to me. Whether I'm a fan of NFL or not, that's title town to me. So I don't know where they got this title. I just kind of snickered like, title town, really? I've never thought of New York as title town. But whatever, to each their own. Nonetheless, it should be a good episode next week. We get a good promo on a Dreamer. That's one great thing. Dreamer might be slowing down a little bit. I mean, he still can have a hell of a match. He might be slowing down a little bit, but man, he can still cut like a decent "I'm coming at you" promo, to really I think some of the younger generation should really watch someone like him just to cut a basic promo. There are some younger athletes out there that are very well gifted in the realm of cutting promos, like MJF. MJF, bar none, is one of the best young stars out there in the ring and on the mic. And but yeah, I love listening to Dreamer. Dreamer's special. So next we got a match with Tommy Dreamer versus Brodie King. Brodie King, someone who is becoming more popular in the independent scene, especially on the West Coast, but he's all over the place lately, as like here on MLW, taping in New York. And they said he's only 2 years into the business. Now, he may be more of a brawler. He's a big guy. He looks tough. What do we call him? The bounty hunter? I mean, he looks like a bounty hunter. He looks like a badass, tatted up bounty hunter. Like, who's that guy they had the show? Oh, okay. He doesn't look like Dog the Bounty Hunter, but someone badass, long hair, tats all over. He fits that staple. So Tommy Dreamer versus Brodie King. They had a decent match. I was really, I'm not going to, I shouldn't sound like I was surprised. But, it's like I said, I don't know a lot about Brodie King. I know he's a brawler. I know what Tommy Dreamer can do. Tommy Dreamer can always bring it. He always brings up a bit of old school to the game. Racist Fan Rocks is in the chat. Good evening. I made up a chant for Zack Sabre Jr. Okay. I did just hear that he's joining Ring of Honor. So he's jumping ship from New Japan, and he just was down in Ring of Honor for some tapings. Ronnie says Tommy Dreamer can still put on a hell of a match. Racist Fan Rock. Oh, this is the chant. Okay. Is this supposed to be like Queen related? I will tap you. Okay. I dig it. It works. It'd be cool if he came out to Queen for like a theme. Speaking of themes, we'll get to this in a bit. But yeah, good match between Tommy Dreamer and Brodie King. And I'll say, I mean, the match was decent. It wasn't like the greatest thing on earth. These two kind of brawl and stuff. Brodie King did impress me, though. He's, as far as like someone better known you could compare him to if you're not familiar with him, I'd compare him to kind of like a Baron Corbin, someone like that. And I mean that with a compliment. I honestly do. I think he's got a lot to learn, but his agility for his size, I think he's decent. I mean, some of these young up and comers, they only been wrestling for a couple of years, and they got it. I mean, they still have a lot to learn. It's not like they're done learning. You can always learn in the wrestling industry. But some of these guys have only been around for a couple of years, and they're like, they're really making a name for themselves. They're all over the place, and they're really something. So yeah, Brodie King comes out with a win here. He did something to the ref in the corner. He like spit on him or drooled on him, or he did something. And so when the ref was trying to wipe something out of his eyes, Brodie King gave him a low blow just as Tommy Dreamer was about to hit him with a cheese grater. Almost got him, Tommy. You almost got him. But he would have probably been DQ'd, though, So, the ref's self-distraction, Brodie King, quick, boom, low blow, and then gave him a pile driver, a wicked-ass pile driver. And they even replayed it. It was like, oh, God. Don't know how many of those, how many more of those someone like Tommy could take. Ronnie says he's going to go see Bohemian Rhapsody this week. That's awesome. I'm hoping I can go see that too. That looks incredible. I mean, Queen isn't one of my favorite bands, but I will say, like in my latter years, say like the last 10 to 15 years of my life now, I've become a lot more appreciative of Queen, whereas my first introduction to Queen, sad to say, was what the hell movie was that? Wayne's World. And I knew at that time that was a classic song, but I just didn't know a lot about him. But yeah, the movie looks incredible. The guy that plays Freddie Mercury really looks like he nails it. So then they run down this Fightland Chi-Town. By the way, I'm not going to Fightland in Chicago. Trust me, I wish I was. Because this card for Chicago. Let's run this down. This is crazy good. Tom Lawler versus Sami Callihan in a Chicago street fight. That right there, I'm sold on it. I would love to see that. Lucha Brothers, who are the tag champs, going up against Los Parks. That's L.A. Park and his son. Low Key, who's the MLW champ, going up against Shane Strickland. Shane Strickland finally getting his rematch after months after losing it. A lot of debuts in Chicago. One of them, Rush versus Sammy Guevara. That right there has got to be a headliner for one of these upcoming episodes. PCO versus Brodie King. Holy crap. These two were brawling before. I think this is supposed to be a no DQ, so these two are going to have a finish this time. Ace Romero versus Marco Stunt. We'll get to Marco Stunt in a bit. He debuted on this episode I'm reviewing now. That's going to be nuts. We'll see if Marco Stunt makes it out of that one alive. Ace Romero's a big boy. Dirty Blondes versus Swoggle and Joey Ryan. I think they call themselves Size Matters or something. I don't know. Something goofy. Obviously bringing some comedy to the show. Brian Pillman Jr. versus Tommy Dreamer. Wow. That should be good. Cotto Brazil versus Trey Miguel. That's a show stealer. The return / debut of Stokely Hathaway. Teddy Hart versus Jason Cade. Good night. Shut up and take my money. Myron Reed versus Ace Austin. That's another one. And MJF versus Puma King in a flag match. That will certainly be interesting. All right, let's get into this main event. We've got the new Hart Foundation, Teddy Hart, Davey Boy Smith Jr., and Brian Pillman Jr. I don't know about you, but the more I see this group together on MLW, it makes me really happy because for younger fans and older fans like me who maybe didn't see a lot of, say, 90s Hart Foundation stuff when they were really at their peak with Davey Boy Smith and Brian Pillman in the fold right at the cusp of the Attitude Era starting, you know, right around that time. And I know they had some great stuff going on back then, and I just wasn't watching back then. So to see this next generation of this new Hart Foundation representing the Harts, the Davey Boy Smith, family, and Pillman, and that's just awesome. And they're going up against, excuse me, ACH, Rich Swann, and a debuting Marco Stunt. My introduction this year was Marco Stunt was all in. I know he had some match that really caught a lot of eyes right before that, which is still on my to-do list to watch. I don't know who he had a match with, but I guess it was like enough that really turned a lot of heads in the industry, and it got him on All In. Now, I don't know if he's signed to MLW, but it sounds like he's going to be a reoccurring face on MLW. This kid is like 21 or 22 years old, something like that. He is 125 pounds. 125 pounds. It takes two of him to equal me. I mean, that's crazy, okay? That's shut up. I know I'm fat. Be nice. And what also was funny, and I had to play this back like 3 times. Swan comes out, ACH comes out, and then they introduce Marco Stunt and his entrance music. His entrance, I'm probably going to get a copyright flag for this, but I'm just going to play this. This like really almost sent goosebumps down my spine listening to this. Check this out. This is Marco Stunt's theme. It's Sesame Street. Now I changed the speed on it a little bit because the original is really more upbeat. So I slowed it down a little bit because his theme song is a little more slowed down than the original. It took me a while to find it because Sesame Street's been around for so long. I know this is so weird talking about Sesame Street and wrestling and the same thing. Just bear with me. It's the closing theme for mid-1980s Sesame Street when the credits are rolling. And I heard it, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I knew it. It just took me a minute. Because obviously it's not the opening theme to Sesame Street. So the fact that he's got this as his entrance music it just kind of blew my mind like, wow. He looks like a kid. You know, he dresses like a little punk kid. So it's just hilarious. I don't know how the hell this kid is going to make it to like 25 if he keeps doing the things he's doing. Seriously. He just about looked like he died in this episode with the Hart Foundation. I mean, this was a great match. Don't get me wrong. Some tremendous wrestling from both sides. But man, when Teddy Hart and Davey Boy Smith Jr. get a hold of Marco Stunt, they did a move. I didn't write it down, did I? No, I didn't. They did a move to him. It was like a Canadian destroyer, but it was from on top of Davey Boy Smith Jr., Teddy Hart doing it down to the mat. Oh my God. I mean, he just right there in theory, should have been the end of the match. But Marco Stunt kicked out of that. How? I don't know. That kid can take a beating. Like, unreal. Marco Stunt is one little tough SOB. And I give him a lot of credit for all the craziness he does. But man, he does some wild stuff. And if you don't know what I'm talking about from All In, he was in, and I'll probably go back to this a lot over the course of the next year, talking about Marco Stunt, because this was my introduction to him. The 15-man over the budget battle royal at All In, Marco Stunt was a part of that. And the way he flew around the ring and flip-flopped all over the place and took a beating, especially from like Bully Ray over and over again in that match. Oh my God. Like when he threw him to the outside and I thought he killed him. It looked horrific. It really did. I was like, oh my God, this kid's dead. Which is what, we got a replay of it in this episode here too. I thought they killed him. But he's not the one that took the pin. They was it Rich Swann? I think Rich Swann took the pin, and it was like over the top rope. It was something similar that they just did to Marco Stunt. But it was something a little different. But it was a combination, move. So hell of a match though. A lot of fun. Great debut for Marco Stunt, but man. It's jeez Louise. He is something else. All right, so that's going to pretty much do it for this one. Thanks for joining me live. If you don't catch all of this live, if you came in late, the replay will be up on WrestlingWithWrestling.com, home of Andre Corbeil's new family of all things professional wrestling, podcasts, reviews, all sorts of stuff from all over the world is on that website, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. You can also go check out some of my stuff on rantwithant.com, and another site that I'm newly affiliated with is wrestlingworld.net. They do streams on there as well. And they're looking to get kind of away from that and get into more like just showing like good indie stuff on there as well. So keep an eye out for that as that website grows. They also have a lot of, we'll say, up-and-coming podcasters, such as myself, on there as well. So affiliated with that site. So go check that out. The links are all in the description. So, and hey, if you want to support the cause, those links are in the description too. Go check out. I'm not sure if the one for the cancer research is still on sale. I got to talk to Ant about that. I might have to take that out of the links down there. But I know my personal one, the Smash This Podcast shirt, is on sale if you do want to support the show. You can go to the site in the description, go pick one up, and if you do buy one, hit me up on social media. Those links are down there too. Let me know you got one. I'll share the hell out of it. It would make me most happy guy. So, what is coming up? Ring Warriors. Got to catch up on some Ring Warriors. We'll either do that later tonight or we'll save it for tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. We'll see what's happening. So, but thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of my content hits your screen. Good night, folks. Have a good one.